The FBI names a suspect in the Trump assassination attempt. The FBI has identified Thomas Matthew Crooks as the guy they believe is responsible for the shooting of former U.S. President Donald Trump. According to a statement, he was from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, and was 20 years old. Following a string of gunfire during a Pennsylvania rally, Secret Service personnel surrounded the former president. He was hustled off stage and into a waiting car, and he's been back home in New Jersey ever since. According to the FBI, the incident is being investigated as possible assassination. Trump claimed that a gunshot had penetrated the upper part of his right ear in a post on his Truth Social network. His representative had earlier stated that he was being treated at a nearby medical facility. "I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin," said Trump. "Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening." As security guards hurriedly dragged Trump away, blood was evident on his face and ear. Active and ongoing investigation refers to the occurrence, according to the FBI statement. Following the incident, Pennsylvania police claim there are no new threats. According to Anthony Guglielmi, a spokesman for the U.S. Secret Service, the suspect was shot and killed on the spot. He continued by saying that 2 bystanders had suffered serious injuries and 1 bystander had died in the incident. 3 male victims were eventually identified by officials. Law police officials informed CBS News, the US partner of the BBC, that Crooks had fired from a high structure a few hundred meters away outside the arena while carrying a weapon. Agents had earlier informed reporters in Butler that they were still trying to determine the purpose behind the attempted murder. It was confirmed by Special Agent Kevin Royek that the government was investigating the shooting as possible assassination. He continued by saying that the suspect had not been carrying identification and that in an effort to formally identify him, investigators were using DNA. The gunfire had begun as the Republican presidential contender was addressing his supporters in Butler, Pennsylvania, a pivotal swing state in November's election. As Trump discussed his administration and his successor, President Joe Biden, several booms were heard. As the gunfire was audible, a number of Trump fans who were standing behind him and carrying signs ducked. The gunshots may have originated from a 1-story building to the right of the platform where Trump was speaking, according to bystanders who talked with the BBC. 5 minutes after Trump ascended the stage, a witness named Greg told the BBC he had seen a suspicious-looking figure bear crawling on the building's roof. He said he identified the individual to the police. "He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle," he stated. "We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle." And the police did not know what was going on. Tim, who was there at the event as well, reported hearing a barrage of gunfire to the BBC. "There was a spray which we initially thought was a fire hose, and then the speaker on the right-hand side started coming down," he continued. "The hydraulic cables must have been struck by something as it fell. There was anarchy as we witnessed President Trump fall to the ground and everyone else follow suit." While Warren and Debbie were present, they reported to the BBC that they heard 4 or more gunshots. They both claimed to have dropped to the ground as Secret Service agents passed through the throng and yelled at the guests to desist. People say they stayed composed. Warren remarked, "We couldn't believe it was happening." According to Debbie, a small child standing next to them was sobbing and asking, "How is this happening to us?" and that she didn't want to die. "That hurt my feelings," Debbie remarked. Congressman Ronnie Jackson, a Republican, confirmed to the BBC that his nephew suffered injuries during the gunfire. According to a statement from Mr. Jackson, he was treated on the spot for a small wound to his neck. President Biden denounced the incident and described it as sick while speaking from Delaware, his home state. "There's no place in America for this kind of violence," he stated. "Everybody must condemn it." President Biden spoke with Trump before leaving for Washington, D.C., according to the White House later. Rematching the 2020 election, Trump and the presumed Democratic contender Joe Biden are still involved in a close race. Alongside Mr. Biden, politicians from both parties denounced the alleged attack. "There is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy," stated former President Barack Obama, who expressed his relief that former President Trump was not gravely injured. Former Vice President Mike Pence urged every American to join us and stated that he and his wife were praying for Trump's former ally. In a statement, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries stated, "My prayers and thoughts are with former President Trump. I appreciate the swift action taken by the police enforcement. The United States is a democratic nation. Any form of political violence is unacceptable." Leading the international condemnation of the shooting was UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, who expressed his dismay at the shocking scenes at President Trump's rally. "Political violence in any form has no place in our societies, and my thoughts are with all the victims of this attack," he stated in a statement. Fumio Kishida, the Prime Minister of Japan, urged citizens to reject violence that challenges democracy. Leader of Canada, Justin Trudeau, expressed his disgust with the shooting incident that targeted former President Trump. At the convention in Milwaukee on Monday, Trump was scheduled to accept the presidential nomination of his party. There were rumors that he planned to disclose his running companion during the Butler rally. Republicans were eager to point the finger at President Biden for the shooting, claiming that he had stoked concerns about Trump's possible comeback to power. Senator J.D. Vance, who is rumored to be on Trump's shortlist for vice president, claimed that the Biden campaign's rhetoric was the direct cause of this incident. Republican Congressman Mike Collins charged that the president was inciting an assassination. Concurrently, James Comer, the head of the influential House Oversight Committee, declared he would call the Secret Service chief before his committee. Give your thoughts.